Welcome to the GWA podcast here on Grow With Angie. If you've never been here before, welcome. And I am Angie. And if you notice, we have a little bit of a different setup tonight. And I want to thank one of our fabulous subscribers, Not Cute. And I didn't make that name. That's their name. They're not cute. And I had posted a video earlier this week, I believe. And the first comment was, can you do a podcast with this background? So here's a couple of things. I moved everything that I own upstairs, my computer, my lights, my microphone. As you can see, I do not have the big, huge headphones on because I felt like they were distracting with the plants. And that's obviously what you all want to see. So if you like this look without the big headphones, let me know and I'll just keep using the little ones. It doesn't matter to me either way, as long as I can hear myself on the microphone to make sure we have a good connection. Also, if you're here for the first time, please say hello. Give me a shout out in the comments. Let me know where you are watching from. I really like that. And I wanted to give another big shout out and thank you for all the subscribers. We are, I think, at 725 or something like that. So we went from 650 over 700 very, very quickly. And that just lets me know that you appreciate the content that I'm bringing to you. So again, the comments and the questions you guys can post while we were here tonight, and just let me know what your thoughts are and if there's anything that you would like me to do. So with being up here in the dining room, there is going to be some noise. Of course, 1 minute before I started the broadcast, they kicked on. So the pumps are running right now and they run for 15 minutes on. For those of you who are curious about the systems, I have my water running 15 minutes on and 45 minutes off. You can also kind of delay that a little bit overnight if you don't want your water to be running that much at nighttime. That it's totally fine. Your plants kind of go into a sleep mode, which most people don't think, but they do, and they grow a lot at night. Also, behind me, I have a little humidifier going, and you can see these are my bean sprouts. I'm going to talk about those. We have the wood stove going right now, and it does get pretty dry in the house, but with the tanks and the water running, this definitely helps with some humidity in the house. So, I like that. So what I'm going to talk about first is some of the things that I have reviewed over the last year, and I want to give you an update on some of those things. So since I just pointed out the bean sprouter back there, I will let you know about that. I have sprouted with that several times. I'm talking probably 5, 6, 7 times, and I sprouted with it right before Thanksgiving. And I actually put the bean sprouts out with the jar. It was really cute. I just kind of took the top off, flipped it upside down, and we were putting it on our potatoes. We were adding it to all kinds of our food. My nephew actually really likes them just plain. So he had a big pile and he was just eating them plain. So I'm really, really enjoying that. I do have some of the links to the products in the description already for the video, so you guys can see what those are if you want to check them out. I have noticed if you really don't keep up on the watering them, so you're going to rinse them in the morning and rinse them in the evening. It says to rinse them twice a day. If you don't, especially if you miss at night and you go like almost a full 24 hours, then your sprouts will start to dry out a little bit. So just make sure you're keeping up on that. It's super easy. You're just going to take this little jar, you're going to flip it upside down, run it in the water, swoosh it around, dump it out and hang it. And then it just kind of drips out the water into the little basin below. And it is just really fun. And we can add it to our salads, or like I said, you can throw it on, potatoes, or put it up on top of steaks, or add it to your salads. It's awesome. I love it. So that is one product that I wanted to give an update on that is going really well, and I still highly recommend it. The other thing is the Catchy A Bug Traps. And here we go. Fruitport, Michigan. Hello. I know where Fruitport, Michigan is. Thanks for joining. So the units that I have behind. See, now I just got like all distracted. Isn't that just the way it goes? I'm just not in my setting right now at all. This is just so crazy to me. And I had to do a lot of different light setup to make it look good because it's super duper dark outside. Oh, the Catchy A Bug Traps. So I have two different videos on that. One is just on the original, and that one is almost at 5,000 views now. Just insane. And then I did an update with the new Catchy Duo. And when I did the video, the Catchy Duo was not catching anything because I really didn't have much of a bug problem. But I have to say, running the wood stove is something that I was a little bit worried about. And I caught a mosquito. So catching a mosquito in Michigan in the middle of the winter time tells me that it was sleeping in the wood. It came from somewhere. So I have caught a few things with the Catchy Duo. So it is working. And I have that one out here. And I actually put the original in the living room right next to the wood stove. And both of them are working really well. I did notice the Duo is not changing sound. The original got louder as it got older, and the Duo has been fine. It's really, really quiet, and I love that it has the automatic feature. So as soon as all these lights go off, it turns itself on. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to remember if I turned it on, and it just kind of does its own thing. So I love that. The third thing that I wanted to talk about and give you an update is my deep water culture, which actually, since I'm up here, let me do this. There we go. Look at that. You're going to see the rest of my microphone though. So there is my deep water culture tub. And then I did the video on the how to make your own light bar. And then I added a little fan to it. And one of the things that I really like about that is I have done a couple of different things. The lettuces all here, I started actually in that and then moved a lot of them over. And I tried an experiment because I'm always experimenting with these. I'm trying to point. So this is all cilantro, and you can see this little one, and then you can see a bigger one. The bigger one that I actually started from seed, and the little one, it's really full. It's kind of hard to see with my microphone stand, but the cilantro I actually purchased from the store in one of those little I guess it's like a little pot, it's already a grown plant. And I brought it home and I was really worried about, bringing in dirt and bugs and that type of thing. So I really, really cleaned it out. I rinsed all the roots. I got everything off of the roots that I possibly could, made sure every leaf was bug free, and I split it apart. But the one that I did on my own from seed is much greener. There's a couple hidden back there. I really wish I could move it. There we go. There we go. So you can see the other ones, and the color is a little bit different. So the ones that I got from the grocery store are not as happy and bright green as the ones that I originally started from seed in that deep water culture. That deep water culture tub was like, I want to think $30 on Amazon. Excuse me. And it's great. I really, really like it, and I'm kind of tempted to get more because, I need more. I need more space. I need more things to grow, right? It is just a nonstop fun adventure of growing. So that was my third thing, and the fourth thing was the Aerogarden 360, which I have links to that as well down below. Can you hear it? They just kicked off. They just turned off. So the Aerogarden 360 is pretty awesome. And I have to say, it is really, really good for someone who is brand new and wants to learn how to do hydroponics. I have had problems with it. And I'm going to tell you that, nothing is perfect, and you learn as you grow. You're going to learn things and discover problems and try and fix them. I am not as successful with the Aerogarden. And you know what? Let's just do this. We're just going to go this way. And there we go. I just restarted some things in the Aerogarden 360, so you're not seeing any plants in it right now. I'm not doing as well with it. And I think it's because I learned so much from the big ones as far as balancing out the pH, doing the foods, and keeping, now I'm adding the hydrogen peroxide, and I'm doing the Kale mag to get the calcium in there. And I feel like with this, I want to keep messing around with it like the science that I'm doing with these. And every single time I put in hydrogen peroxide or I try and balance out the pH or do any of that, it doesn't seem to be as successful. And I don't know if it's because the way that they're made to be used is just to use it's Miracle Grow actually is the name brand that sponsors Aerogarden or has the contract to do the food. And I think if you're using the liquid that they provide you and that's it, and it says 2 capfuls every week, and there's a little light that tells you to add food, and if you just kind of take your brain out of it and just do what the unit does, I think it's okay. And I've grown several things into it where it got really, really big. I did lavender and mint and chamomile, and it did really, really well. And it got really big. But then I ran into root rot problems. So I don't know if because I wasn't emptying the tank maybe every 2 to 3 weeks and starting with fresh water, if that was it. So I am still messing around with this. I have not perfected it. I am in many, many groups. I'm in a very large one that is all Aerogarden, Catchy, and hydroponics in general, and they have numerous of these. I mean, there are some people that have them lined in their house, in their basements, and they have amazing, amazing gardens in it. I think because I learned with what is going on behind me, I just wanted to continue to try and fix the water and balance the water and do all these fancy things that maybe I don't need to do with the Aerogarden. So what I'm doing right now is actually just leaving it be. I'm going to try and run some seeds that are again my own and not the ones that you just purchased from Aerogarden. So there's also that. I could be doing some things wrong with the seeds that I'm using versus what you can just order directly from Aerogarden. And I do get a little bit of algae because I haven't figured out really how I want to block the plant or the growing media that it comes with. It does come with something similar to the big units, like a rapid rooter. It is a peat moss type media. And so they have a little bit of a different system, but I really kind of wanted to do something where I don't feel like I have to constantly be buying their products. I don't like the ones that you have to get stuck into any kind of a subscription or you have to constantly be ordering their seeds. I want to be doing my own seeds. So I think those were the 4 things that I really wanted to give you an update. And then the 5th one is definitely the other bean sprouting unit that I have. I call it the green machine. And I really have that on my mind to do another video and play around with that because I did not succeed with that one either. And I turned it into a microgreen. It worked great for microgreens, but I just couldn't get the beans to sprout like I can get the beans to sprout in this. And this is just so stinking cute anyway, right? Hi, Tina. Welcome. I'm so glad that you joined us. Again, if you guys are just joining, I see several of you here. Go ahead and say hello. You can let me know where you are. Let me know what your weather's like. We just had a huge, huge snowstorm and it's been pretty cold, and I'm keeping an eye on the chickens, which that's kind of a funny thing. Um, so yeah, the chickens are doing all right now with the weather. I think because this is the first year I have 16 and they are keeping the coop very warm on their own. So I have not had to turn on any lights, but I'm having problems with a few of them wanting to sleep outside. So before I started this podcast, I had to run outside, grab a big rake, yell at them, tell them to get inside and shut the door. Not cute. I'm so glad you made it to this podcast. Happy New Year. What do you think? What do you think of the background? Not cute. See, I told you that was their name. I wasn't calling them not cute. That's their name. I'm really glad you got to see this. This is specifically for you. So if a subscriber asks me a question and it's something that I can deliver on, I'm going to do the best that I can. Now, I can't say that I'm going to be doing this background every single time because I had to bring up, the microphone and the computer and all the lighting and all that. And so my dining room has looked like this for a couple of days, trying to figure out how I wanted to get the background. And I did kind of do a little bit of an update. If you see my other videos, I moved the cabinet. So I'm trying to just give it a little bit of a different feel because I can't really move these around very much. Tech for your needs. Hey, how are you? That is one of my Clubhouse peeps. I'm so glad that you are here. Happy a new year. And Not Cute approves. All right. So if it is Not Cute approved, we are doing good. So let me tell you a little bit about what is going on behind me, because this is actually very exciting. I had, like I've talked many times before, if you watch my videos, and if you get sick of me saying it, let me know. But for those of you who have never been here before, you may not know the story that I was infested with bugs. I brought in aphids last fall with some of my plants that I was trying to save, my deck plants. And once they came in, it was just this slow process at first of them reproducing. And then over the winter, it became insane. All summer long, I tried to fight them. I did everything I possibly could. In between, right around Thanksgiving to just before Christmas, I took everything out. I cleaned them all in the bathtub. I let them dry. And so there was no water in them whatsoever. And the bugs could not survive. And, getting rid of the plants, I fed a lot to the chickens. We processed a lot. That actually helped, kind of, they had no place to go. They had to die off, right? They had to go somewhere, hopefully just not all over the house. But I was running the catchies, so anything that was, leftover flying. But the aphids really don't fly. They just want to stay and hang out on the plants. So this gives you a good idea of kind of what the growth is, because I did this right before Christmas. I started everything from seed. Like I said, the lettuce is down here, just the bottom row. I gave them a little bit of a head start in the deep water culture and then moved them over. This whole entire unit is kale. And I've had some people make comments about kale and that they don't like it. So I will give you a really good tip. You can either put them in the oven and bake them and make yourself some kale chips. Or one thing that we love to do is we buy these really awesome flavored oils, cooking oils. And we have like chipotle, we have lemon, we have all kinds of different flavors. And you just put them into a pan and you put your oil in there and you fry them up, and they get really nice and crispy. So they're not soggy and they shrink a lot. I mean, you can have this big, huge, massive amount of kale and you're going to get this little serving on your plate. So that is one reason why I have grown kale before with the units. And I just thought I'm going to do a massive amount, so when we're cutting off, we can have more. This unit over here, I have some basil up at the top. You can see all the way down on the end here are my green onions, some other lettuces that I added late. So they're going to be kind of a little bit time-wise off, which is really nice when you're doing hydroponics. You can start some things, and then as you're cutting those and they are dying off, then you have a backup already going. And then this all in the dark center is arugula, which is one of my husband's favorites. These are like a lettuce mix, and this is all like a mini romaine. And as big as those look right now, yesterday I had a huge salad. I went through and thinned out the bottom row, and then my husband came home and he did the same and he had one. And then today he had another salad with kale and the arugula. So that is 3 days of cutting a lot. And you can see where we are still at. My preference is to put a quarter leaf of kale for every 3 pounds of meat. When you're doing, like, when you're, what do I want to say? So when you're just cooking your meat, like if you're making like taco meat, like if you're sauteing it, you're just going to put it in there. That's very interesting because my husband would probably really like that. Yeah, he likes his greens. And so I kind of went a little bit overboard this time. But with doing all these other systems and trying different things, I have lots of room. And that brings me to a question that I want to ask you as my subscribers. And again, if you are here and you have not subscribed, please do so. If you are getting any value out of this video, please hit the like button. That lets YouTube know that, you guys like what I'm doing, and they'll let more people know. But if you have anything that you want me to review or to try, please let me know. You can send me direct messages on all of my social media. You can reach out to me here. You can leave comments on any of the pages, and any of that I will try and I will look at. If you have links, if it's something on Amazon, I'll check it out. Anything that you purchase from Amazon, if you're using my affiliate codes, like I've said before, it is an affiliate, and I do make a pennies of commission. And I do make a commission if you are using my coupon code, which is Grow With Angie for the iHarvest. You'll save $50 and I'll make a commission off that. And all of that money I'm going back into the YouTube channel so I can continue to purchase things and to continue to bring you content. And I'm really have some really good ideas already for this year. I'm seeing very, very, very little kale. You don't like kale? All right, well, not cute. Look at this. Look how beautiful it is. I really encourage you to try and deep fry it with some flavored vegetable oil. You'd be surprised. It brings out a different flavor. The edges get really crunchy. This is a blue curled. And so it does, the curled on the edges of the leaves do tend to get really crunchy. And I like that. I'm allergic to mold and can't have plants with soil. Do you find mold in these? No, there's no mold. I've not had any mold at all. I've had one unit I purchased a year ago, October, and the second one I got this last April. And mold is never an issue with them. The biggest issue is algae. So there can be an algae buildup, and there are things that you can do. You can see, it's so funny to be pointing behind my head. You can see these little silver discs. Those are reflective covers, and that actually covers the growing media. The algae feeds off of the light. So any of these units, and a lot of this I say too, if you don't have one of these actual units, if you have a lettuce grow, a tower garden, a garden, however you want to say those, any of the other types of growing systems like this, most of the plastics, I can't imagine they wouldn't make it not like this. But the plastics are actually made to keep the light out. Even though they're bright white and they're pretty, it is made to keep the light out from the inside of the water, and that helps with the algae. But some of us like to cover the actual growing media because the top of that, so your rapid rooter or your rock wool is exposed to the light, and then that is going to create your algae. So that is one of the things, is the algae. But other than that, I've never seen any mold whatsoever. Killy, I don't know what that means. Is this a channel that you're trying to promote on my channel? varktek. All right. We don't know what that is. If you have questions, go ahead and post them down below. Or if you are watching from somewhere in the world, let us know where you are watching from. And I get my brain. So it's a spam. Thank you for letting me know that. Well, I gave them like 2 seconds of time, didn't I? That's all right. So right now in Michigan, where I am in northern Michigan, we had a lot of snow. There are other places, southern Michigan actually, that got way more than we did, which is pretty amazing. And, it is something when you're doing homesteading and all of a sudden the snow comes in and you realize how much harder it is to take care of your chickens. I love my chickens in the summer. I can sit out there with them. I can play with them. I love, picking them up, cuddling with them, because that's the type of chicken mama I am. And now I feel like I'm rushing out there. I'm getting the chores done and I'm coming back in, even though when I'm out into the chicken run, it is all wrapped in plastic. And so there's not a wind in there. So that's kind of nice for me. But it's cold and you just don't want to like hang out there. And I don't have my hoses, so I can't just quick fill up water. I'm carrying water back and forth. And a good tip for that I am doing this year that I've never done before is I actually have a 3-gallon plant watering tank. And I just unscrewed the little spray nozzle on the top, and that's how I carry out all of my water. But it just makes it's less fun in the winter. It was -10 in Minneapolis. I'm really happy that we are holding pretty steady. I think the lowest we got was 12. And that's another thing with the chickens and the heat lamps. There is massive debate on the heat lamps. Tina is in Michigan. Yeah, welcome. All of us Michiganders, right? Or Michiganians, whichever one you would like to use. The heat lamps for the chickens, I don't like to turn those on until it really gets kind of dangerous levels. And, I'm talking like 50 negative. But having as many chickens as I do have when they are all inside the actual coop itself, chicken's body temperature runs between 105 and 108. So like ours is a normal 98.7. So theirs is 105 to 108. So if you have multiple chickens, they're actually producing quite a bit of heat themselves. And the higher they roost to the roof or the ceiling of your coop, they're kind of getting that residual heat. So that is actually good for them. Boston. Yes. How is your weather in Boston? I can't imagine you guys are doing any better with the snow. But it just is a constant reminder that, doing the indoor gardening or anything inside, if you're not doing something hydroponically and you are maybe in a soil plant based, you have pots all over the place and you're just a plant fanatic, it is really nice to take that time to actually garden. And I find such absolute peace in waking up in the morning, and these kick on at about, well, they used to be 4:30, but because it's so dark out now, I keep changing the timer on them because at night when we're watching TV, it's annoying. So that is something to be aware of, and we've thought about getting some kind of a little wall, a little accordion separator to put up to block it, but I just keep changing my time. So I believe they come on about 3 o'clock in the morning now. So when I come out to get coffee in the morning, I do not need to turn one light on in the house. It is like the sun is shining through the window. Everything's kicked on. The light for the deep water culture is on the same timer plugged in with these as the Aerogarden is set to the same timer. So when I come out here, I have everything is full beam going. And I walk over and I just sit there with my cup of coffee and I stare at my plants. And I think I'm obsessed with the bugs because I had them for so long. So I'm sitting there like looking at every leaf, like, is there a bug? Is there a bug? And so far, we're happy there are none. And it is just that the smelling of the green, you see a little leaf that's got some brown on it and you snip it off and you get that smell. And it really helps with people who are, going through the season of depression. It's dark, it's nasty out, and we miss our sun. And then there's the days when I did this and I started over and I had everything spread out, all of my little rapid rooters, my growing medias, my net cups, my seed packets, and I got to plant. And I spent, a good amount of time. And yeah, I love this. Not cute. Is there any other state that can do that? And if you are not from Michigan and you know what that means, yeah, I love that, it's kind of like the where I got to do everything spectrum. You got to, where are you in this realm of, yeah, I don't know, couldn't Florida and Italy do it with their foot, kind of a boot type thing? But growing all winter long kind of just brings that peace, and it gives you some time to practice. And again, you're not going to get it right. You're going to fail, and nothing's ever going to be perfect. And I'm not going to say that I'm perfect. Obviously, I just told you all about my Aerogarden and how I've been struggling with it. And I'm asking people in those groups and saying, can you help me? Like, what am I doing wrong? Why is my Aerogarden not just this big, lavish, beautiful thing like everything else? And I love it when I get the comments back on those Facebook groups and they'll ask me questions about, did you check your roots for root rot? Or, do you have enough water? Did you give it the food? And I'm thinking, hello, I'm not totally not knowing what I'm doing, but for some reason, I've been really struggling with the Aerogarden. So I'm going to keep trying to be successful at that. And, it might be because I don't know if it's smaller and I really do need to change up my water. I have thought about getting some of the bigger ones. Quite honestly, I would love to have one of everything as far as the towers. I'm not a huge fan of garden or Gardine, however you want to pronounce that, Gardyn, because it has cameras. It has cameras and it has an app and it tells you, I spotted something on your plant. I saw a leaf that was bad and I don't want the extra cameras. And maybe that's just me. I mean, we have a security system on the house, so I do have cameras for the house, but I don't have them just in the dining room. That's on some crazy weird app. Do you go straight from seed in your high harvest or do you microgreen start? Okay, so a couple of different things that I do. Yes, I go straight seed into the iHarvest. That's probably the biggest one, and that's what has produced everything minus the bottom row of the lettuces down here. I will take the net cup with the rapid rooter and I will just drop the seeds in. The kales, I do 2 to 3 seeds, and I know you said you didn't like kale. So anything that is Swiss chard or trying to think of some of the other really big ones, anything that's going to get like a really heavy base to it, you only want one, maybe get away with 2 because they're going to get really big as they grow and they're just going to get really compact. Your lettuces, you can go ahead and put more. You can see up here, there are, I think, 3 to 4. And if it starts to get a little crowded, then I will thin those seeds at the time. So yeah, I just put the seeds right in the rapid rooter, pop them in. You don't have to worry about food right away. You can do just your water and just balance out your pH. And it's not until they kind of start to sprout and you get some root that you are going to want to start kind of balancing out and making sure that they have food and nutrition to get to the root. The other way that I do it is a seedling starter kit, which is basically, and you can do this totally on your own. You don't have to buy a seedling starter kit, but they are convenient. It is just a tray, and you can put all of your little growing medias that you're going to use. You can kind of set up your little net cups, put them in there, and then it has the dome that goes out over top of it. You could actually cover them other ways. You could put Tupperware over top of them and kind of give them a little bit of a start. If you have a grow light that you can put on top of it, you can do that as well. That grow light that I use is right here for my seedling starters. So that kind of got taken over by the deep water culture right now. But I'll do that. And I kind of like having seeds started off to the side for, again, when something's kind of going out or dying out, I can swap them out. I also have a video review on this really cute like microgreen cart. I haven't really used it. I have played around with it and I use it to like put starters on, but I haven't actually done the microgreen thing. But I did do microgreens in the Aerogarden and they were going really well because I just thought, microgreens are microgreens. When they grow up, they become really big plants. And so I started them in the Aerogarden, and then it's when I started playing around with the pH levels and throwing some hydrogen peroxide in there for the algae and the root health, and I killed them off. So yes, you can ask questions here as long as it is about homesteading, chickens, gardening. Yes. Yes, you can. Please do ask questions. I if I can answer it, I sure will try. So that's kind of some of the updates that I have going on. A lot of the different things and how successful they have been over time. And the smallest product that I purchased, again, that I love is this little guy right here. Um, having those little things growing all over the house is just fun. Have you thought about putting fish in your water tank? No. Okay, so there's a difference. Hydroponics is using the pH levels and the ppms or ECs, which is the measuring way of your nutrients. And that is hydroponics, when you are actually feeding your plants with water, no soil, and the nutrients. Having fish is aquaponics. Having fish is actually using their excretions, their poop, their fish poop, and that is what is feeding your plants. And so it is kind of a circle of life. In these in these tanks, I mean, they're dark, and I don't know if fish would really love that. I think that's why the fish tanks are clear, right? So they can see out and they can not be in there. But yeah, I've kind of thought about aquaponics a little bit. My mother-in-law actually asked me about it over the holiday, and she said, "Are you going to do that?" And I said, the thing that really interests me is just the homesteading in general and growing all of our own stuff. There are people who have monster tanks in their homes, and they do the aquaponics, and they actually do salmon and trout. I think that was a funny no. I'm going to be honest. No. But they will actually have trout, and they'll grow it. They will have their fish, and their fish will reproduce, and they actually have fresh fish. I mean, how cool would that be to be downstairs and being like, "Hey, honey, I'm gonna go catch me a salmon and have some salmon dinner." But I mean, that is like massive. That's like huge, huge tanks, and it is a totally different thing. Gregory, I try to grow seedlings in my backyard, but it needs fertilizer. My local store has run out of fertilizers. Oh, come on. Okay. No more questions for you. Go out and buy some cow poop. There you go. You're in timeout. I put you in timeout, Greg. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there is a timeout button on StreamYard, by the way. So you're in the corner with the little hat on your head, and you're in timeout. Yeah, see, and it even tells me you are blocked for 5 minutes for naughty. Yeah, not cute, Jinx. All right. So I don't love to go super duper long on these, because even if you're watching this on the playback, I don't want you to just be sitting here listening to my ramble so if you have any other quick questions, throw them up. I just really wanted to connect with you guys again, let you know kind of how things were going and how things were growing. And obviously you can see these in my videos, but when I'm live, this is live, guys. This is not, there's no filter, or there's no camera specialty. This is everything that is going on. And just absolutely loving the gardening and learning more. And again, you can always leave comments or questions on any of my social media, and all the links are in the description below. If there is something that you want me to try, I am always sitting and scouring Amazon, and I'm like indoor gardening, gardening tools, trying to find little fun things that I can review and see if they are worth it or not. And I wish I could grab that. I don't think I can. I have something I was going to do a video on, and it probably would be very short of don't buy this. If you see these Facebook ads of they're window clings, they're like rubberized window clings that look like a little vase. I bought them. I bought them, and I figured, why not? I'm going to try them, right? They don't work to hold water. So I tried with filling the vase with water, and they didn't stick, they wouldn't hold. So then I did just a little bit, and I was so disappointed because at Christmas time I had them on bathroom mirrors, and I had one in the living room on the window, and I went out into the woods and I cut all these little pieces of pine branches and I put them in there, and I did this whole little decorative thing. And the one that was in the kitchen window, I went into the kitchen later, and there was water all over the kitchen counter. And I thought, what in the world? And then I realized it just slid right down. So they would be really, really cute with like a dried floral arrangement, maybe if you're like growing, which I did before. I did lavender, and then I dried the lavender. So, it might be cute for that, but I don't know. We'll see if I'm up to doing a video of just telling you not to buy something and not having really anything positive, because I haven't really thought about anything positive. So this might be your warning right here. If you see the advertisements on Facebook or any social media to buy something that looks like a vase that sticks to your window, to your refrigerator, to your mirrors, they do not work. Glad I caught you live. I'm going to get an eye harvest in March. That is awesome. Look at you, Miracle Grow 12 nightstand and a styrofoam grow tent. You know, the grow tent thing, that actually, I have one of those outdoor, I don't know what you call them. I guess it's kinda like a greenhouse. They're just tiny little, you can get them at Walmart in their plastic zipper, and my plastic zipper ripped, and I'm not really happy about that, but years ago, before I did any of this, I had that set up in the basement, and that's how I was starting my seeds to take outside, and I've thought, I could put that thing together because it's got some really great shelves on it, but, I'm really running out of room up here, so that's kind of where we're at. But you'll have to let me know what that spider farmer grow tent is. Not cute. If you have that, or if send me a link, DM me a link. I would really like to look at that. And I really guess don't know what a Miracle Grow 12 nightstand is either. Spider Farmer is an indoor grow thing. Okay. Yeah, send me that. I would like to, or I'm gonna look that up tonight because I have not heard of a Spider Farmer. And if it's something else, hey, I'm all here for you guys to give it a try and see. But if it's really ginormous and I don't have room for it, I don't know. That's why I say, I keep telling the hubs we're gonna have to be, it's a tent. Okay, we might have to be expanding a little bit. But we had that discussion. And this is the last thing that I will say, and then I will close out. We had that discussion about taking everything and making a big, huge grow room in the basement. And because he is the cook of the family and he likes to do that, and he's, worked in restaurants and all this, and he's very creative when it comes to cooking, he really loves that he can just walk over and snip something off, especially the cilantro. He puts it in everything. And it's very, very convenient that it's right here in our living space, and he's a little worried that if it's tucked off in a corner somewhere downstairs, then we'll forget. But how could you forget? All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. We are at 40 minutes. So thank you very much. If this was your first time with the podcast, I'm just here to connect with you guys. That's kind of what these are. That's what I'm going to be doing through the new year. I don't always have anything super planned, just be able to contact you guys and have you talk to me and get to know each other. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the notification bell. That will let you know when videos are being uploaded. And if you liked today's video, go ahead and hit the like button. And I know that all sounds very cliche for YouTube, but it really helps YouTube know these are, somebody's getting value out of it, and they will let someone else know to watch them as well. So thank you all for being my subscribers. Thank you for being here. Not cute. I am so happy you joined and you got to see this background, because I can't promise it's going to be like this every single time. So yeah, I'm really happy you got to see this. And this is what I do for my subscribers. So you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you, Tina, for being here, and stay warm, stay dry, and try and enjoy winter the best you can by just growing something. Get a little pot, make yourself happy. All right, we will catch you on the next episode of the GWA podcast. Have a great night.